What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast, CBS Sports Daily NFL Podcast. I'm Will Brinson. I'm your host. It is Friday, August 19th. I believe whether you are listening to the podcast or watching the podcast on YouTube, a little sad today because, we're not in studio together. Ryan Wilson joining me to preview the Week 2 preseason games, thrilling Week 2 preseason games.
3. Did you say 2 or 3?
It's Week 2.
Week 2, 3 games to preview. Right.
No, we have a lot more than 3 games
on Friday. And then as I look through the rundown, Debo put every freaking game on the schedule for the rest of the season on this list.
Yeah, that's what I was sort of getting.
It's payback for having to spend.
I asked you about the heart out. You're going to get a second tattoo.
We'll see. You have to come back for the next podcast and see what's up. I think I'm on next Thursday, perhaps. So have a week to figure it out.
For some reason, everyone in the comments is talking. I've got to scroll up here to read some of these, but Wilson is probably the tallest. Yes, that's true. Brinson is probably the heaviest. I mean, that's also true, but seems very unnecessarily rude.
Right.
None of us are tall or
Brady. Brady Quinn thought I was 6'1", and we're gonna go with that. Why did that even come up?
I don't know. There's something about serial killers in here.
No, we know who that's about.
Dom's mad. Yeah, Dom. I wouldn't bank on me emailing. I'm terrible at email.
What was the email thing?
I don't know. He sent me an email. I gotta check it. I'm behind on a billion emails.
Yeah, you have no idea.
Yeah. Everybody's saying, it's been a fun pod week. If you like the Pick Six Podcast, if you're a fan of the Pick Six Podcast, it's been a fun week. We were down in Nashville. We had a blast.
Got to ride in the Breachmobile, which was fun.
Oh yeah. No, we haven't told you about it. Yeah. So we
just Debo, do you know what that car looks like that we talked about?
It's amazing.
Yeah, we looked it up during the show, but
it is somehow smaller in real life.
Before.
All right. It was smaller in real life, and there was and look, my car is filthy. I don't keep a clean car. Wilson, I'm sure your car is immaculate. But no, I would not have I would not have if people were in my town, I knew a bunch of if you guys were in Raleigh.
He didn't know he was going to be giving us a ride back to the hotel.
Yeah, you run a risk anytime you get in that car. We get in the car, and there's a dirty bowl.
He had been eating apples,
like a dinner, like a plastic dinner bowl. And he's
a big apple. He's a big apple guy.
He's like, that was for apples, but it was coated in pasta sauce. I was like, what do you mean apples? That's not for apples.
Don't eat pasta sauce with your apples.
No, there was definitely some sauce residue on the side of it that was not apples. And so
I thought the car on a scale of 1 to 10, and having a 2.5-year-old, I thought I would give it a 7 in terms of cleanliness. I was not.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't worried about that.
The bowl threw me off. A dirty dinner bowl, a dirty plastic dinner bowl in the floorboard of the driver.
That doesn't throw me off so much as him riding down the street eating apples out of a bowl. That's weird. You pull up next to someone and they're eating apples out of a bowl. You're like, that guy is
maybe the sauce is peanut butter and he's dipping. He's driving with his knees and dipping the apples in peanut butter. I don't know.
But who doesn't just eat apple with it's not like he had a stick shift. Why don't you eat apple with one hand? Why are you slicing it up like you're a baby?
Why are you putting the apples in a bowl?
Right, my point.
I think he was eating pasta in there. I think he was eating a penne with vodka sauce or something
with
like
his hands, because there's no floor.
Yeah, with his hands. I know.
Yeah, so he gave us a ride back. He also took us back to the hotel Debo, but he went on the wrong side of the street, so he made us walk about 100 yards because he didn't want to go the rest of the way.
And you guys refused to go back and get Chip Patterson's laptop.
That is true. I had to go to the airport. Sorry, Chip.
That was you did him dirty. Did you hear what me and Chip and Barton and after we left you from Edley? Oh, we went back to remember that barbecue place we went to after Breach's wedding with Nate and EK?
What was the name of it?
Edley's.
Did I go?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Well, you were obliterated as usual.
After the wedding?
Maybe after the rehearsal dinner.
We didn't go to the rehearsal dinner, did we?
We did that thing we were hanging out with Jim Breach.
That was the wedding.
Oh, it was reception, maybe. What did we do on Friday then? Oh, Friday we went to that. Okay, it was after the wedding on Saturday. After the reception, we went to this barbecue place and we went back there. It was in 12 South, but we had a very nice meal. Debo didn't eat because he's anorexic apparently. We hung out there, and then
Debo ate 45 tons of Brussels sprouts in the 2.5 days I saw him. It was the weirdest, way weirder than having apples in a bowl.
Whoa. Care to defend yourself, Debo?
Nope, that is 100% true.
He crushed some Brussels sprouts. What's up?
So we went. So I was with Bud Elliott and Chip Patterson, and then Barton Simmons came and joined us. And so like they're the cover 3 guys, right? And one of their podcast listeners like DM Bud and was like, "Hey, if you want to come to this place, he's like, I'm a member of a private whiskey club."
Oh, that's what the pictures are from, because that place looked like it's pretty fancy.
Unbelievable. Like
you are Kramer. You fall ass backwards into all these opportunities, providing nothing, by the way. Like you have
providing nothing, probably just being annoying and drunk.
But I mean, in terms of like
some really nice bourbons, and it was a very nice time.
They have tequila there. It's all just like whiskey.
They did have some tequila. Dang it!
All right. Did Debo get to go? Or you didn't take him?
No, Debo wanted to leave.
Yeah, Debo probably did the right thing.
Yeah.
Especially after the night before, which was a long evening.
So the podcast awards, People's Choice Podcast Awards.
Oh yeah.
As I mentioned on HQ a few minutes ago. Excuse me. They were talking. They did a whole thing under tattoo before I came on.
No, they didn't. Did they?
Oh yeah.
Tommy was doing me dirty yesterday when I wasn't even on the air. I went off the air and he was still talking smack.
Who was?
Tommy Tran. I heard him. I said, Tommy, I heard you. I know what you did.
Yeah. Amanda and
Brandon.
Jeremy were doing. They did a whole tattoo thing, a lead up to the tattoo, and then I pointed out that I am in trouble when it comes to tattoo time because, and I mean, now it's possible that whoever provided us this information is lying, but apparently we are potentially leading.
Sure, boss. I don't think he was lying.
I mean, Debo,
not your boss.
He's messing.
I had the slight update. I believe we've fallen to second.
Yes.
All right. So please vote.
So no longer in the lead, but
Please
who are we trailing?
I don't want to say. I don't want to say that.
Fantasy football today.
No, I just don't think I should say on air. I'll hit you up on the side.
Oh, ESPN Daily. Pablo Torre coming for us. I'll stop. Football season is finally almost here, and the CBS Sports Football Pick'em is the best way to step up the competition and fun. Run a custom picks or survivor pool with friends and enter our CBS Sports Challenge for the chance to win guaranteed weekly and season-long prizes, plus the $100,000 jackpots. Get started now at cbssports.com/play or from the More menu of the CBS Sports app. Once again, that's cbssports.com/play or in the CBS Sports app. No purchase necessary. See rules for details. We have a link in the episode description and a QR code if you want to join the Pick Six Podcast League. Look in the top. Look, Wilson, point up above your left shoulder, please. Your left.
Yep. I'll have to reverse
right there. There it is. Yep. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the QR code. I've been running a league on CBS for like a private league that I do with my friends for 10 years. It's fantastic. It's the best pick'em there is. You can do it easily from your mobile. Highly recommend you do the CBS Sports app. And, of course, go vote for us on the People's Choice Podcast Awards. Get me tatted up. What was it? Amanda said Ryan got inked, as the kids say, she said, which is I don't think what the kids
Did Amanda say whether she has a tattoo?
She doesn't. Jeremy has 2, and Amanda. has
Jeremy
0.
does have 2. Okay, Amanda has
0.
Interesting. It is funny. I don't want to.
Do you feel like a different person now that you're a tat guy? Oh my God, you do.
I'm trying to think. No, of course not. But it is funny. Like I want to give Amanda's or Jeremy's age, but people that aren't age
55. They're both 55.
Age 20 to 29. How many fewer tatted up people there are than the younger crew, because the younger crew, everyone has tattoos. When you're walking around, not just at work, but I mean just walking around willy-nilly, everyone, the brother has a tattoo. So strange times.
Yep. All right. Panthers at Patriots. Oh, that's tonight. I just gotta watch that, huh?
Yeah, I did a whole 15 minutes on HQ this morning about how Baker Mayfield needs to play well. He's not going to play at all. Luckily,
is he not playing?
No.
PJ Walker expected to start. They announced he won't play. There you go.
But they announced it after the hit, so you have to sort of couch in those terms. But CBS HQ tweeted out the link of me just saying how well he needs to play. So, of course, people are pushing back on that. What are you going to do?
Yeah. So it looks like PJ Walker is going to play the first and third quarters. Matt Corral is going to play the second and fourth quarters. I'm just sort of looking back at Yeah, that's a weird. So no Sam Darnold, no Baker Mayfield. In other words, the quarterback competition has been decided. It's been,
Over.
and we knew it was going to be Baker all along. But
I wouldn't even play Baker next week either. No need.
Excuse me.
You know what's funny? After sort of preparing for this segment this morning, I'm now trying to talk myself into what you and Breach are trying to talk yourselves into with this team. What's the over-under in Vegas? Do you know off the top of your head?
6.5.
It is 6.5. I can't go over that yet. I'm not.
Can't go over. No. Can't go under. Can't go under with Baker playing.
I just feel like if Baker plays like he did 2 years ago, 7's on the table.
Week 2 last season, by the way, Sam Darnold played. He was 1 of 2 for 16 yards. Remember, he was a starter. Will Grier, 11 of 14 for 144 yards. The Panthers scored 3 points against the Ravens. So would not. And Mac Jones, what's the line on this game? I'm sorry. Breach had the lines last week. He came prepared.
Yeah,
I see you clearly not preparing for the podcast.
Mm-mm.
I'm not even.
Other things to worry about.
Patriots are -6. I would like the Patriots. I will.
I don't even know. How do you bet this? Do you legitimately bet preseason games?
Yeah.
You win?
Sometimes. I think I went.
Sometimes.
Do we have the list of what games I took last week? I think I did pretty well last week. Maybe like 4-2. Could have gone 3-3.
God, that's just. I mean, that's the ultimate. I feel like guessing game.
JB out west asks, who is Amanda and Jeremy?
They're anchors on CBS Sports HQ.
Yes,
they're actual professionals, unlike us two idiots.
That is correct.
So I'm looking at the week 1 line. Cleveland at Carolina. What do you think that line is?
Panthers -1.5, but I know that.
You clearly seen that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
that's about right.
The Baker revenge game, yada, yada, yada.
I like the Panthers in that spot.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Panthers probably come out and start hot and then maybe cool down depending on injuries, or could end up being a 7. We're not going to talk ourselves into him. Mac Jones is expected to play along with the Patriots starters. That's why the Pats are -6. I would take the Pats.
Also, this team, these two teams had a couple of joint practices, and they had actually more fights than practices, I believe.
A lot of fights.
I can't remember the cornerback's name that kept getting thrown out for the Panthers. I have to look it up. Robinson, I think his last name is. Kept getting thrown out. He got thrown out 2 practices. He was taking people out on kick return, which you're not supposed to hit people. And there was another thing that got him thrown out of practice. And I don't know. So I don't know if you can bet on how many fights there are tonight, but I bet there are. I want to put the over under at 1.5. I'm begging.
Yeah, it's going to be a chippy game. So I'm just sort of looking at the Patriots. Patriots beat the Eagles 35-0 last year in the second week of the preseason. Mac Jones was 13-19. Cam Newton went 8 of 9. JJ Taylor had 12 carries. Ramondre Stevenson had 15 and 2 touchdowns. Damian Harris had a touchdown. Like, this does feel. I like the Patriots a lot -6 because I think what you'll see from Bill Belichick is a desire to score as many points as possible and keep people from talking about Joe Judge and Matt Patricia.
That's the difference. There's no Josh McDaniels there, so I don't even know if you can compare. Now, the talk has been that the Patriots defense is awesome, and that's part of the reason that the team is struggling in practice. But at some point, you got to be able to do something, especially given how the season, the last month and a half of the season, how Mac Jones got better.
The total for this game is 39.5. That implies.
Yeah, but that's because they were way wrong on the over-unders last week. Teams were averaging 44.5, I think.
Yeah,
last week.
The overs crushed.
And the overs crushed by an average of like 9 points or something.
Wow. Look at you with the info there. God, I should not have eaten Torchy's tacos before this podcast, huh?
Should have gone to, what's the name of the place we went late night?
Chewy's. Oh, it was made a Chewy's joke. Torchy's is really good, actually. Just came to Raleigh. It's from Austin, or no, Houston, maybe.
All right.
Anywho,
I'll forget that now.
Saints at Packers. I assume Breach did this last week. So that's
no Aaron Rodgers. It looks like Romeo Doubs will play again. Christian Watson's going to play. He's been injured for quite a bit, so that's good news. The 2nd round pick, Doubs was the 4th round pick. So a chance for Jordan Love to redeem himself. Last week he was, what was he, 13? I have it right here. 13-24.
Jameis Winston not going to play either, by the way.
Last week, Jordan Love was 13-24, 176 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. Afterwards, Matt LaFleur said 2 of those interceptions weren't on Jordan Love. okay. If Aaron Rodgers had thrown him, we'd still be talking about why did he throw 3 interceptions. So I think either way, whoever's fault it is, Jordan Love has to continue to show improvements. He had some. I went back and watched his throws, and there are some questions about the footwork and the decision making. So I don't know. We'll have to figure this out together. But right now, Jordan Love doesn't look like a great selection as the 26th overall pick in the 2020 draft, given that they needed wide receivers.
Although he did motivate Aaron Rodgers to win 2 straight MVPs. So there's that.
There's that.
Last year in the second week of the preseason, Jordan Love didn't even play. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers didn't. Man, Green Bay kept it pretty snug. They lost to the Jets 23-14.
They did not keep it 100.
They did not keep 100. Again, it's hard to say if Dennis Allen will be the same as Sean Payton, but I would assume that they're going to be fairly similar. Taysom Hill had a lot of action. Jameis Winston had a lot of action. So obviously, yeah, I guess it's going to be pretty different. So I think it's hard to say what to do in this game. I am curious, like how much quarterback Taysom Hill plays this season, though.
Why would he play any? You have
I think
Ian Book. You have Jameis, who I'm assuming is going to be healthy. He has the foot thing, but yeah, that's a Brady Quinn shout out. What do you mean? They drafted him.
So he went to Notre Dame, like
he went in the 4th round.
Rudy.
You got to play him at some point.
I think Taysom Hill sees more quarterback snaps than Ian Book this year, unless Jameis Winston gets hurt and Ian Book has to start.
Okay.
Michael Thomas playing this game? Probably not, right?
There was some conversation that he might, but yeah, I don't know if I would sleep on that.
Yeah, I don't think he'd bet on this game. But if Michael Thomas plays, obviously that's interesting. Chris Olave, if he's out there, want to see what they do, and then Jordan Love is kind of intriguing from a wasted pick perspective. Otherwise, moving along to the final game.
I mean, we're at the point in the process where you'd rather have Mason Rudolph in a trade than Jordan Love, I think.
Yeah.
If you're giving up a 6th-round pick, although I don't think they're giving the Jordan Love, they're not going to give a 6th-round pick. Even a 4th-round pick, I would rather have Mason Rudolph.
Did you hear what Davis Mills said? We're ready to go out and shock the world.
That's a good thing to say. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you want to say?
I don't know.
We are not going to shock the world.
No. We plan on not shocking the world. That'd actually be kind of funny if he said we didn't want to shock the world. I was trying to see if Davis Mills is going to play.
I can't imagine he wouldn't.
Yeah, I would think he would. Texans are
Pete's favorite guy.
-2.5. The Texans -2.5 is a good bet.
Yeah, the Rams never play anybody.
The Rams don't play anybody. Over under here 37.5. I like that under actually, because I would be surprised if the Texans, I think the Rams will score 14 points at most. I don't think the Texans are going to try and score 30. So
that's how long they leave them out there. I mean, the whole idea is to get them reps. Although, here's the thing: without looking, how many career games has Jordan Love started in the regular season?
1.
Yep, the Kansas City game where he didn't play well.
We're talking about Davis Mills.
How many games has Davis Mills started? He's only just going into year 2.
15?
11. So he already has a ton more experience. So maybe you don't need to leave him out there, but I would imagine, new coach, new offense, needs to get on the same page with the very few wide receivers that he has. Dameon Pierce was a pleasant surprise. I don't know how that affects his fantasy rankings. You know that better than I do, but he had a good first.
He is definitely moving up the list.
So, yeah, there are reasons that the Texans need to play, and those are the exact same reasons the Rams don't need to play their starters.
And I mean, it is technically a new offensive coordinator, but I mean, Pep Hamilton was there last year as a quarterback's coach, and now as the OC. But it's so similar. I like the Texans -2.5.
Yeah, actually, I don't hate that, even though betting on preseason sounds crazy.
Brinson bets. Should probably keep track of these. So I'll keep track of them separately. So Patriots -6, Texans -2.5 tonight. Saturday's games start with the Lions at the Colts. It's a scorcher. Lions -3. If I did, Campbell's are favored in this game. I would be surprised, obviously, if Matt Ryan was going to play.
They didn't look great last week.
No.
First team. So I don't know if that is a consideration if you're Frank Reich. one of Pete's thousands of favorite players. Alec Pierce is having a good camp. The day 2 wide receiver out of Cincinnati, played with Desmond Ritter. So that's good. Well, I've talked about it before, no T.Y. Hilton, so he'll have to fill that role opposite Paris Hilton and Mr. Pittman. Paris Hilton. I keep calling him Paris Hilton. Thank you, Paris Campbell.
I was just gonna let it go.
I'm the only person that's still talking about Paris Hilton.
I love Paris Hilton.
Why? What is she like? What positive? I think she's Hilton. Oh, she's. Oh my God! I almost said she's in the Marriott business. No, she's a Hilton dum. Hotelier. Like that's where her money comes from. But why do you love Paris Hilton?
I just sort of love Paris Hilton. I don't know.
Why do you not like Madrid Marriott? That's my favorite.
Madrid Marriott.
I was just making it like Paris.
Oh, is that like is there like a sultry Marriott heiress in Madrid Marriott?
Yeah, who lives off the family fortune without doing much.
Is there a famous Madrid that we don't know about?
But she was sort of an influencer before influencers became a thing with the old social media machine. All right, well, that's interesting. I'm glad you like.
I'm googling Madrid hotels. What's going on? Last year, Jared Goff did not play. Obviously, neither did Carson Wentz, but that's a different story than the Matt Ryan thing. I would guess. I mean, I don't.
Hey, what about that local reporter asking Carson Wentz not great questions? You see that?
No, let's talk about when we get to Washington, though. In like 2 seconds. I just don't know. I can't tell what Dan Campbell's going to do here.
That's what makes him so dangerous.
They didn't really play anybody in week 2 of the preseason last year. So I think it's a stay away.
I like the Lions.
Do we want to talk about the fact that Breach is all in on the Colts? Do you think he's going to bail on them like he did the Rams last year? That little.
It depends on what you do.
Face.
That's how he determines.
Ooh, should I start trying to horn in on the Colts? Should I re-breach?
Yeah.
Like the Colts are just my team.
I'm fine with that.
The number 1 overall seed in the AFC is a bit steep for me.
That's crazy talk. But I don't know if he believes that or he's just doing it so you would give him a good grade from the Bowl Prediction podcast.
Sure. He does seek my approval constantly. The Broncos at the Bills. The Bills -6 in this spot.
Are we going to see Russ?
No chance.
No Russ, no Josh?
Josh
didn't play last week.
Yeah, the Broncos are not going to play most of their starters against the Bills.
And Russ didn't play last week either.
I can't imagine Josh Allen is going to play either.
No, I wouldn't play him.
Oh, no, he's going to start.
Got you there.
Okay. What's the do you have a first half spread in there, Devo? We might not have it up yet. It probably won't come up till tomorrow. No, they don't have it yet. I think the Bills. Like what's that?
Is it going to be more than -6 for the first half spread?
No, it could be like 6 though.
That sounds about the extent of it.
Like sometimes if they feel like it's obvious the Bills are going to cover, like the Bills are going to cover the first half, then, yeah. And you know what? Let's add Texans first half to the list of bets. So that's 3 bets so far.
All right.
Texans first half -1.5, I think. Just that way, because Mills is playing, we think they'll come out hot. Yeah, I mean, I think the Bills 6 is a bit much, just because if they pull they pull Josh Allen after a quarter, like how do they, you know what I'm saying? Like how does it?
Yes, that's why betting preseason is so crazy.
Well, but it's also like if you can sort of walk through the scenarios, you can figure out.
Yeah, but I think as our buddy Kenny White, who is an actual pro.
Did you just pronounce Kenny White like he was Kenny Pickett?
Kenny White. Yeah. White. He just you try to stay with the over-unders. You don't try to pick winners.
Oh, did you say that?
Well, we were sort of talking about that when we saw him a few days ago.
I'm trying to look.
Do you know who the 2 backup quarterbacks are in Denver? Exactly.
I don't. Do you?
I'm looking. Josh Johnson and Brett Rippon.
Oof. That's something. Yeah, I like the Bills first half, I think. As long as, I mean, it shouldn't be like 6. It should be like 4.5 maybe.
And then, of course, it's Case Keenum and Matt Barkley on the other side is the backups.
See, that's good, though. Like, that's like the Bills, maybe Bills by 6 is a good look.
Okay. I mean, I was at Bills camp. They have a lot of good players in that team. I wasn't at Denver's camp, so I don't know what they're.
Well, Nathaniel Hackett just comes from, like we see, like Green Bay doesn't play it, right? Like they're just not going to play their starters. Like that's sort of how he rolls. That's why they're by 6.
All right.
Yeah, I like Buffalo in this spot. I am curious. I want to see how the play calling looks for Buffalo too, with Josh Allen out there and Ken Dorsey. Like I really am. I'm not that worried about it, but I feel like people are kind of glossing over that.
Ken Dorsey apparently is a no nonsense. Like he has one thing he's interested in, and that's football. He's not caught up in other things.
He's a Sean McDermott type guy.
There you go. Perfect.
Good Mary.
Jinx.
Washington Commanders at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are -5. This is at 4 p.m. on Saturday. Over under 44. What was the Carson Wentz thing that happened?
So a local reporter, DC guy, I don't what's his name, Scott Abraham from 7 News DC, had a sit down, and he asked in this sit down with Carson sitting in one chair and Abraham sitting in the other. And he says, real talk here, Carson. It's been well documented. Philly didn't want you. Indy didn't want you. Do you think this is your last chance to prove you can be a starting quarterback in the NFL? So that right to the man's face. And Carson, in his defense, said, I don't really think about that stuff. For me, I'm playing the game I love, and I have the most confidence in myself to deliver, to play at a higher level, to be part of something special here with this team. Jason Wright, the president of the Commanders, sent out a tweet that said, thankfully, Carson demonstrated grace in class in response to this pompous, unprofessional mess.
Whoa!
I recognize you have made a living on childlike provocation, but it needs to be called out. Don't expect special access, and good luck building rapport with the guys. Scott 7 News.
Oh my God.
So yeah, the little slap fighting going on in the media and in the front office. And again, you don't have to like Carson Wentz, but I give the guy credit for not just jumping across the little conversation there and choking out Scott Abraham for just not, for calling him out to his face like that.
I'm trying to find this tweet now. Did he delete it?
Here, I sent you the.
And this was last week, like middle of last week.
Yeah, this is dated August 12th, by the way. The story I'm reading in the New York Post, but it's gotten lost in the mix. There's so many other things going on, and one of my buddies down in DC asked me about it. I said, "Oh my God, I didn't even see this." So that was something, and maybe that's a good sign for Carson. Maybe now Debo has more faith in Carson than he did previously about his ability to handle adversity.
Of course, Warren Sharp tweeted it out.
There it is. All that said, -5 feels about right for the Chiefs line. Is Mahomes playing? I don't know what Andy Reid. There are a lot of guys hurt. Juju's hurt. There's another wide receiver who's banged up for
Mecole Hardman.
Mecole's banged up with the groin issue.
Mahomes really, I think he only played 1 or 2 series in week 1.
That's more than enough.
Look and see what he did, what Andy Reid did with they scored 17 points last year in week 2. Mahomes, 10 of 18 for 78 yards and a pick. That's a lot of action for Mahomes. So maybe Andy Reid views this.
Josh Dooley says in the chat that Mahomes is playing first half.
Well, that's why the Chiefs are -5.
Yeah, I feel like that should be more than -5.
I mean, I take the Chiefs. If Mahomes is playing the full first half, then you take the Chiefs minus the.
Oh, Rogers 44 though. I don't know if can you go over that number? Wow, 44.
That's a lot of points that's like a regular season total.
But there's a lot of points. The average last week was 44. I'm gonna go over. Sam Howell was flinging it and slinging it. Heineke will play.
Oh yeah, good call on Sam Howell. Yeah, I like the over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. I'm not afraid.
All right, we'll take the over on the
on the
Chiefs.
That won't come back to bite us.
Chiefs over 44. No, I like that. I think the Panthers over, Panthers Commanders over hit. It took it was a late touchdown from Sam Howell, but it hit. It should have gone over before then. So I like that. KC, I mean, we've seen in the last couple of weeks, both Albert Breer and Peter King, who do the 2 main Monday morning, columns that are still out there. Both have talked to Patrick and
where's sorting the Sunday Pod, by the way? I've been looking for that for 4 months. What does that mean?
What does what mean?
Where is it? I've been looking for my Monday morning.
Right in the off season, already when the regular season starts.
Jeez. I've been hitting refresh literally for 4 straight months, wondering when it was going to show up.
I hate you so much.
All right, go ahead. Anyway, what did Breer and King say?
And Kevin Clark went and did a piece on Mahomes too. There's been Mahomes features out there, and I think it's because not. It's also because Mahomes is one of the best quarterbacks in football.
He's okay. Yeah, he's okay.
But it's I think that the Chiefs are very interested in proving that the loss of Tyreek Hill will not cause their offense to collapse. Like I think Andy Reid's motivated. I'm not saying they're going to come out light up the Chiefs, light up the Commanders in the preseason game, but I do think they want to get these reps with these different receivers and kind of. I don't know how much they'll show off their offense. By all accounts, it's much faster, more up tempo. How
could it possibly be faster?
What's that?
How could it possibly be faster than last year's offense?
I mean, they're apparently going warp speed.
All right. Well, let me ask you this. So over under on the Chiefs being 3-3 like they were last year through 6 games. Or push.
Their schedule's tough.
And they don't have Tyreek Hill. They have some injuries they're sort of sorting through.
I mean, I don't want to say the Tyreek Hill thing's overrated, but I think it's kind of overrated.
Yeah, we'll see.
At Cardinals, Chargers at home, at Colts, Buccaneers. Jeez.
Yeah, but who's going to be quarterback in that team?
Raiders at home. Did you hear the theory on Tom Brady?
No, I want to hear it.
Well, actually, we'll do the Buccaneers next. We'll talk about it.
He's
Raiders
an alien, is my guess.
Bills at home. They could easily be 3-3.
Yeah, I'm gonna say -110 on 3-3.
Okay, I'm not sure that works, but that's.
It feels like almost an even bet.
JB out west says it's probably a dumb question, but how do the books set the odds for preseason games? Does every team telegraph who'll be playing? Do teams have incentives to win preseason games? There's no incentive to win or lose preseason games. It's why you saw like Ron Rivera go for 2 when he scored against the Panthers. He wasn't because he was like, oh, he's a riverboat guy. It's like, no, he wants to make sure there's no tie. Like they don't care about winning or losing.
Once they put that in the CBA, no ties in preseason.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just tie. You
don't make the coaches
ties.
do it. It's like you just if it into it's like no overtime in the preseason. Yeah,
that doesn't affect the line at all.
Teams do telegraph largely who's going to play. Sometimes they'll be a little vague about it, and maybe there's an advantage there, but mostly you can figure out who's going to play in which particular games. I agree. I like this over. I think KC and Washington both score plenty of points, 44. Insane preseason line.
Josh Dooley, who mentioned that Mahomes was playing the first half according to today's reports, also says 5-1 at worst. I'm starting to think that Josh Dooley might be a Chiefs fan.
I think Josh Dooley might be a Chiefs fan. Okay, so Tom Brady and the Buccaneers at the Titans, except Tom Brady won't be playing because Tom Brady is missing.
My theory is that he's an alien. He's back at the home planet getting recharged.
There's actually a better legitimate theory out there.
What is it? It's not personal, family, or serious, according to Todd Bowles, I believe. Is that right?
The theory that someone on Reddit came up with, and
okay.
I tweeted it out, and I had a Bucs beat reporter was like, please, he's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, that's a question you get at least.
I was like, it's plausible. I didn't say it's like likely. I said it's plausible.
What is it? That
Tom Brady is away from the Bucs filming a spot on The Masked Singer.
I saw someone tweet. There's zero. That is Antonio Brown level craziness.
Antonio Brown literally did the Masked Singer.
That's what I'm saying. That's why it's.
But like, it would make sense though if like he was a brand ambassador for Fox. If he agreed to do this season of the Masked Singer.
He's a brand ambassador for Fox.
Yeah, that's part of the deal with that announcing deal he signed. He got $375 million. He's an announcer plus a brand ambassador. So it'd make total sense that he's like signed a contract, signed an NDA. They planned an entire season of this huge show that's like wildly popular on Fox. Based around him in his final season of football. They're going to promo it, and he's away for 9 days, and the Bucs have to let him do it because he can't get out of the contract, and he wants to make sure he doesn't mess up his Fox contract. I so hope it's true.
Well, here's the takeaway for me from that crazy story. That means that I'm probably yes. I feel much better about what I said earlier in the offseason about them not being the Bucs team. You saw the real winner here, by the way, if that's even remotely true, is Bruce Arians, and the real loser, in addition to Bucs fans, poor Todd Bowles. Yeah,
if Tom Brady's filming The Masked Singer, and we'll know because it'll run during the season.
Nah, what if it runs after this, like the game that leads in after the Super Bowl, the show that leads in after the Super Bowl? Like that's when they run it.
And Tom Brady loses, and then he sings like.
Well, he's already retired, so it doesn't matter. I have to hear about it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. What are you doing? Whoever the beat reporter was that asked you that is asking a fair question.
Oh, totally. I was like, dude, I'm not. He was like, and his point was, he's like, look, he's like, just don't. I don't. He's like, I don't need nobody semi credible, or he said credible, but
Brad Stevenson asked in the comments, why would you need 9 days for that? That's a 1 day thing, by the way. You do it on a Sunday.
Well, it depends on whether you get eliminated.
That thing has to be rigged. Who cares? Like you do it 1 day. The show doesn't take 9 days. Imagine they shoot like a bunch of shows, like The Price is Right. You do 5 shows a day.
Maybe he's doing a spot in Family Guy.
You can literally do. You can Skype and do that. It's hard to say.
Ryan Tannehill didn't play a snap last year in the preseason week two.
Or last week.
I think he played a little bit last week.
Right? He did play last week. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think he touched this game.
No. What's the over under? It
38.
is.
Ooh, I might like the under there.
I don't know, because Malik might get a little more run, and he can generate points with his legs, and he showed some excitement last week, even though Prisco was not impressed.
I mean, that's what we want to watch here, is how Malik Willis looks in his second preseason debut.
Yeah. The Bucs defense is pretty good on paper, but I don't know who will be playing by that point in the process. I suppose if Ryan Tannehill plays a series or two, you can see how that goes. I would not play Derrick Henry at all, but I don't know what Mike Vrabel's plans are. I'm only looking at over-under. So I'm going to go, gosh, I don't know. I don't even like the over-under here. I'm going to say push on the over-under. They're going to get exactly 38 points.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to live on the edge.
All right, next game. Oh yeah, in the comments, tell us what you think Tom Brady would sing. We've got "Pump Up the Jam." Don't let me down. Don't let me down.
Pump up the jam.
You ever watch that Beatles doc on Apple?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's not on Apple. It's on Disney.
Oh, excuse me, on Disney. Yeah, but it was
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I was talking to you about all my various YouTube rabbit holes that I go down and things I get obsessed with. I'm currently obsessed with coffee. I was obsessed with the Beatles for about 3 months too.
Me too.
Bought a bunch of books. Didn't read any of them.
So bizarre.
Stay hot.
How bizarre.
That's maybe singing that song, the How Bizarre song.
Oh gosh. We're on a bus.
Who sings that? How bizarre. Who's that? Oh, you don't know? I think you know at the top of your head. Worth noting, people who are listening or watching. We were at the hotel in Nashville around 4 p.m. on a Tuesday, and because it's Nashville, they have musicians to show up and play. And the first 3 songs, I absolutely crushed.
I was just off. I don't know.
Hipster music guy here, and it was embarrassing, including Tom Petty song. Oh, you hate to see it.
Yeah, it didn't. It was a unique version of Free Falling, and I thought it was a different Tom Petty song.
Unique.
By the way, the guy Chip and I met down in the lobby when we went to get barbecue. Debo, did you hear him playing? The guy who's wearing the Eat a Peach shirt, the Allman Brothers shirt.
No, I didn't. Missed him.
He was blind. It was crazy. He was jamming out on he was
playing the guitar.
Yeah, and he got up, he stood, he walked with. It was really cool. It was very cool. He covered Tyler Childers as well. A lot of Tyler Childers covers down in Nashville. He's
that's the guy. You don't know who Tom.
I asked Debo if I could get water, and he's like, no.
He just said yes. You can break here.
Not allowed. Just pretend like your Chrome crashes, and then 8 minutes to get back.
He's got to go number 2. That's what water means.
All right, we're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, Wilson and Debo. We'll talk to you about the 49ers and the Vikings. Pick whatever game you want. I'm going to get to
We could talk probably about the Eagles and the Browns.
There you go. Eagles, Browns.
All right.
Next.
Yeah, he's definitely taking a number 2 break. All right, Eagles, Browns, Debo. What are you hearing about who is going to play for the Eagles? Are we going to see Jalen Hurts, year 2, preseason game 2?
I think this line would imply a little bit of Jalen Hurts and probably a lot of preseason hero Gardner Minshew. Eagles -3 for those listening on the podcast feeds at the Browns this week.
35.5. I sort of like that over. Although the Eagles didn't score a lot of points last week, I think they scored in the teens. Was that their final score?
24-21 was the final.
Oh, okay.
They got up big on the Jets and then kind of just rested everybody, and the Jets came back for a late victory, but
J-Jaw's gone, so that's an extra 10 points.
J-Jaw is gone. We never got to truly address that on the pod. Sad days. Sadder for the Seahawks, who tweeted out a hype video to welcome J-Jaw, which really shows the state of the franchise at the moment. If you're welcoming a failed second-round pick that is now paired with DK Metcalf, who the Eagles passed on in favor of J-Jaw.
So Jalen Reagor is actually playing for a roster spot. At least he was I read last week, which is also incredible given that he was a first-round pick taken before Justin Jefferson.
And there's rumors he could be dealt as well, just like J-Jaw.
And you would be okay with that, or do you think there's a chance he could actually turn out to be something? What do you think about that?
In my optimistic Eagles mind, I'm like, okay, Nelson Aguilar, former first-round pick, just like Jalen Reagor, like their first 2 seasons were very similar, had a breakout year 3, caught 9 passes in a Super Bowl victory, and quite the turnaround. So in my mind, I'm just like not ready to write off Reagor entirely, but if there's value they can add somewhere else, he's obviously not top 3, top 4 in the rotation right now.
Which is crazy because Greg Ward is going to be the last person on the Eagles roster in human history because he is still there. Quez Watkins is there. Is Quez healthy? Because I know that he was battling some injuries at some point during the training camp process.
In pretty good shape.
Devonta Smith's there, and obviously A.J. Brown, who has been apparently lighting people on fire with the way he's played.
Did you see the dirty hit on Jalen Hurts last week?
Yeah, who did that?
I believe that was Quincy Williams.
That's exactly who it was. And Quincy played. That's the Jacksonville game. Is that right?
That was against the Jets.
The Jets, because Robert Saleh said, "Yeah, we need Quincy not to be doing that."
Right. It's like as much as I'd love to say, like, oh, Jalen has to be careful. You just can't prepare for dirty hits.
And in Jalen's defense, he wasn't trying to run. He was trying. I mean, he was running. He was trying to get out of bounds, and he was a good 3 yards. Not 3 yards, but on the end of the thick white stripe out of bounds, and he got absolutely torched. How did Jalen look to you otherwise?
I mean, he was pretty perfect. Like,
there you go.
That's what show it. Like literally like a perfect outing for him. Brief,
better than Gardner Minshew, you would say?
Yes, he's better than Gardner Minshew.
Okay, just had to check.
By the way,
some good clips today. If you search Jalen Hurts on Twitter right now, some good clips of him in practice, joint practice against the Browns.
Let me ask you this before Brinson returns from his poop break. Did Carson Strong play last week? And if not, what have the reports been on him out of training camp? Because he was a year ago considered a first-round pick till the knee injury sort of led him to go undrafted.
I can't tell you much on Carson Strong, which, I'm following the Twitter.
Not good, Carson.
I don't know if he is a
be
certainty or even close to a certainty to make the roster.
Yeah, that's if you're not hearing about it and you're deep into that stuff, that's not great news.
So you're saying that
there isn't a chance.
You're saying that I'm not going to win my Carson Strong goes first overall in the 2022 NFL Draft Pass.
He's still better than Jake Fromm, if that makes you feel any better.
Oh! Man, I missed the dunk button. That was weird in Nashville. I kept trying to press it.
I'm looking at our buddy Jeff Kerr, who is Rush CBS Sports, is a huge Eagles fan, maybe even a bigger Eagles fan than Debo. Has stock down on Carson Strong. The undrafted rookie was having a poor training camp, didn't even take a snap in the first preseason game. Not good for someone trying to make the team. No word of injuries or anything regarding Strong. He just didn't play. All right, come on, Carson.
Sinnott is their third stringer right now. So,
yeah. Carson Strong, great guy to talk to at the combine. I'll give him that. Hopefully he can.
Yeah, this throw from to A.J. Brown looks pretty nice.
All right, so where are we? We're now back at the 49ers Vikings.
I would assume you get plenty of Trey Lance, right?
I would continue to think that he needs reps. Shanahan said the other day he's getting a little better.
Oh, never mind. Unlikely to play.
All right.
Huh.
I don't know. One of the other things to keep in mind, and that is relatively new the last few years, that these joint practices, coaches like those better sometimes in preseason games because you're seeing people that aren't the same defense you're seeing every day or offense, and then you can.
All right. Here's what Shanahan said before the preseason, that Lance would only play the first and third preseason games.
Okay.
That's why the Vikings are -4.5. After Wednesday's practice, this is a Niners Wire. Niners Wire. After Wednesday's practice, it sounded like he would take a disastrous Thursday session to have the second-year quarterback suiting up Saturday. Right now, I'm not expecting to, but we're day-to-day with that. We'll see how practice goes tomorrow, Shanahan said. There's a chance he will, but that was the original plan.
Okay.
I mean, he didn't play.
Well, now Kirby Cousins had COVID last week. He didn't play. I'm sure he's back. I didn't check, but I'm sure he's back because that was prior to last week's game. Is he going to play?
We do not have.
Kellen Mond looked good at times last week, which is thank God, because I was a huge Kellen Mond guy, and he did not have a good first season in the NFL. So Maybe he gets more time. Again, the over's 39.5. That seems like a lot of points for a bunch of second and third teamers. Nothing.
I don't see anything about Cousins playing or not, and we don't have anything. Although, remember, Kevin O'Connell is a McVay disciple, so we saw the Vikings not play anybody last week. I think we could see the same thing this week.
Yeah, I'm going under that number.
Yeah, I think under 39.5 is a good look. All right, let's add that to the list. Why am I betting what Wilson likes in the preseason? This is what could go wrong.
Who won the pool last year? That's why. This guy.
That's true. You did win the picks pool. I'm sure that'll happen again this season.
I feel confident that it might.
Yeah, let me see what old Shanny Clan did. Shanny Clans.
All right, the clock's ticking. We got like 9 minutes.
Okay. All right, next game. Steelers at Jaguars.
What's the line of that game there? Scroll down, Debo.
He was going to tell us. Jags minus 2.5.
So Trubisky's starting again. I'm assuming if the line's 2.5, Trevor Lawrence is probably going to start too.
Yeah, I would think so.
Over under 42. Steelers scored a lot of points last.
Kind of like that over.
Yeah, me too.
Let's take the over in this game.
I think the Jaguars. I like the Jaguars in terms of my team much better than the Panthers. I'm trying to talk myself into. I think the Jaguars are
way better.
Not terrible.
I'm way more confident in the Jaguars than the Panthers. And it sounds like an insane thing to say.
Mason Rudolph will play because they're trying to trade him. He slings the ball down the field more than the other two, Trubisky and Kenny Pickett.
I mean, Kenny Pickett was dealing.
It was a deal. People keep saying that. I think if you check his air yards, it was like 2.3.
Okay, he had a good stat line.
He had a great stat line. And I'm exaggerating the air yards. I'm sure it's more than that, but it wasn't like he was throwing bombs. Maybe that changes this week, but my point is that Trubisky will start. He'll come out, and then Mason Rudolph will throw a bunch of bombs to George Pickens, and the opportunity for points is going to be there. Again, the minus 2.5, I have no idea. But at the over 42, you could sell me on that. Well,
and it's possible, too, that I think they will want to make Mitchell Trubisky look good because Kenny Pickett is now creating some.
Yeah, I don't think Tomlin cares about that. Like,
I'm just saying, like he wouldn't mind giving Trubisky an extra series.
I think they would rather have Mason Rudolph go crazy than someone instead of giving a 6th-round pick as a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's right. They won't trade Mason Rudolph.
But like I said, Mason will throw the ball down the field more so than the other two. So if you're looking at that over, that might be a better opportunity. Although it may be over turnovers as well if he throws a bunch of picks.
Jaguars only scored 13 points last week, but Travis Etienne had 9 rushes and Trevor Lawrence was 6 of 12. So they were willing, and Jake Luton attempted 21 passes. So they were willing to throw it. They played some starters. I'm
going to say the Steelers are going to score 33 points on their own. So if you think that the Jaguars can score 10 points, you're going to hit the over.
Okay.
On it now.
All right, let's take the over in that game. Jaguars over. Jaguars over 42. Raiders at Dolphins. Josh McDaniels, I believe, is 6-0, maybe 7-0 to the over in preseason games.
He's like John Harbaugh.
Yeah. The total in this game is 41.5. I'll take the over, and I'll take the Raiders. Josh McDaniels is a preseason star. Give me the Raiders.
I wish there was an easy way to find out who's playing and who's not playing. Like, they don't tell you anything to the last minute, which I find very disrespectful.
Well, the problem is we're recording this Friday at like 2:15. The Raiders aren't going to have, Josh McDaniels isn't going to talk until it's the morning.
And they're playing Saturday night too.
Yeah, Saturday night, 7 p.m. Like he'll.
Derek Carr did not play last week. I don't think. I know he didn't play in the Hall of Fame game.
Yeah, nobody played in the Hall of Fame game.
So
Raiders scored 26 points last week. Nick Mullins 7-9. Jared Stidham 10-15, and somebody named Garbers 2 of 3.
Chase Garbers.
I think
he went to Cal.
Yeah.
I'm sure Debo will correct me if I got that one wrong. All right, what's next?
Yeah, I like the over 41.5.
Oh, the Dolphins too. Did Tyreek or Jalen or Tua play? I don't even know if they played last week. I can't remember.
No, they did not play.
Yeah. So again.
Yeah, Mike McDaniel. We don't know what Mike McDaniel will do. We need Breach on this show. He comes prepared. I like you and me. Don't see anything about it yet. So there you go. Fun.
There you go.
Are they practicing in Las Vegas? It's in Miami. It's in Miami. So interesting.
Tua makes a pitch to play against the Raiders. Is from 2 days ago. And
Okay. I like the over there, 41.5. Over 41.5. There we go. Again, like there's not, if Derek Carr, if the starters play, like it's more interesting. But I think McDaniel's offense has been clicking, at least in the preseason so far. So that's something to watch for in this particular case. 49er, oh no, we already did 49ers and Vikings. Cowboys at Chargers. The Dallas Cowboys, or the Chargers are -3, which is, oh man, we'll take the under here. Neither of these teams play any of their starters.
Ever.
There's nothing to watch for in this game.
The only problem is that the Cowboys, if they commit 17 more penalties, they'll just keep the drive alive for the Chargers.
37.5 is too high for this. I love that under.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. You can sell me on that.
Under 37.5. Just
don't sleep on Chase Daniel, though.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
You already talked about Eagles and Browns. Bengals at Giants.
I'm assuming Joe Burrow isn't playing. I don't have to look at that against Sunday game.
You didn't see him. Were you sitting there when we saw him on TV?
Yeah, I pointed at the TV for you.
Pointed out, right? Okay, yeah.
What happened?
He looks like an alien.
He's lose a lot of weight or something?
Oh yeah.
From appendectomy. They're probably like some.
His appendix burst allegedly.
Yeah. Well, is that the theory you're making up?
Well, his dad said that he wouldn't be back for a couple of weeks, and that's what everybody kind of hears. So
maybe he's on The Masked Singer. Did you ever think of that?
He could have been on The Masked Singer.
Well, I mean, you can gain weight, but yeah, it doesn't help.
I'm just saying, like, there's no way he's playing. Like, he's not.
Oh yeah, right.
That's why, and the Giants are -5.5.
Maybe he's afraid of the week one regular season opener against Mr. Trubisky, and that's why he can't hold food down.
Yeah, he can't stop vomiting. Think about it. Arizona scored 36 against him last week. My goodness gracious! And what did the Giants do? I hate preseason. Daniel Jones, 6 of 10, so he played. Saquon had a couple carries.
Tyrod got some first-team reps last week in practice, and Dable had to explain that as nothing more than just Tyrod getting some first-team reps.
Golly.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just don't do that. I think the Giants are probably the bet here.
Over under 38.5. So I think you just mentioned they gave a ton of points last week to the Cardinals.
They let
Kayvon Thibodeau didn't have much of an impact, and he's been good in training camp, but in the game he wasn't. He didn't stand out. Not that he was bad, but that just, if you're wondering about that, Evan Neal struggled a little bit as the first round pick, but so did Andrew Thomas when he was drafted a few years ago. I'm not worried about him long term, but just in terms of his first appearance.
What do you think Virginia Tech legend Jake Browning is going to do?
He's not Virginia Tech.
He's Washington.
Texas Tech, right?
Where did you say he was?
Louisville, because I was thinking
Louisville. That's what it is. ACC legend.
I was thinking of Brownie Nagel, who's older than I am somehow.
400-year-old man.
I know.
Browning actually 13 of 24 for 190 yards.
I'm taking the over 38.5.
All right, I like that. Giants.
There's no way the Giants are covering -5.5. If you
that's a lot of points.
Jeez, oh pizza. But I'm not touching that. I'll take the over.
All right. Ravens at Cardinals Sunday night game, I believe. 8 p.m.
Did you hear that Lamar Jackson doesn't like to work out?
I did not hear that. What's the deal?
It's a joke.
Oh.
Someone in our friend group, I won't say who, put the clip of JJ talking to Lamar Jackson at Ravens camp, and he said, "By the way, I hear you don't like to work out." And Lamar said, "Who told you that?"
Wait, really?
JJ, he was joking. JJ said, "Sources, ha ha ha." Yeah, it's you'll have to find it and send it to you again. But
I bet the Ravens. You have to blindly bet the Ravens. I like the over in this spot too, because we saw the Cardinals score last week. I think they put up points.
+5.5.
36. Trace McSorley,
former Baltimore Raven and former favorite player of Debo back in his days at Penn State.
There you go.
He's got his own TikTok song. I think it was TikTok. I don't know. Stupid social media outlets. Can you sing the TikTok song, Debo?
I'm just stopping by to say, fire Ryan Wilson.
Ryan Wilson, you are the worst.
I'm not completely sure how Mr. Ryan Wilson here has a job at CBS.
That guy's my favorite.
The idiot is finally back. There is not a single analyst on this planet that is dumber than Ryan Wilson.
All right, bro. These mock drafts need to stop.
So my boy Ryan Wilson over at CBS Sports came out with his latest mock draft. every week I pray that this guy will make a good mock draft, and he just can't do it at this point.
There used to be a time where teenagers did make fun of old people, but that time is long since passed.
I wish his kids would come back.
They
Why
may.
did they go away?
You're just emboldening them to be more disrespectful to old timers.
Maybe Ryan will have a new platform soon.
What's that?
Maybe Ryan will have a new platform soon where they can have a reason to come back.
Yeah, maybe I'll quit this joker of a podcast. Only after Brinson has to get his tattoo, though.
Oh, good news. We're in second place.
So says you.
You can't just.
Yeah, but that's just to fool you into a sense of complacency before you get absolutely crushed. You have indigestion? What's going on over there?
I feel like I'm going to be sick.
Get a podcast. Get a tattoo of you throwing up. That would be. I would like. That would I be into.
Okay.
Everything is fine, dog.
Me throwing up on my back.
Like a life-size head of Brinson throwing up with what looks like a real puke.
Jesus.
That
I really will get. I don't want to throw up on the podcast.
Do Falcons Jets in 30 seconds and then.
Right. Falcons Jets. Desmond Ridder played a bunch. Can he unseat Marcus Mariota?
No. Marcus Mariota did say, though, unlike some veteran quarterbacks have said previously, he would love to mentor Des Ridder because it makes the whole team better. I actually believe Marcus Mariota.
I like the Falcons -2 here. I think Desmond Ridder is going to play a ton, play well.
Joe Flacco was slinging it at practice the other day when Zach Wilson went down. So he is, some say, elite. Keep that in mind.
That's right. Mike White will play a bunch too. So Joe Flacco, Mike White. There you go. Falcons Jets. I'm going to go.
All right.
Easy
pork sandwich.
We have thrilling preseason weekend. So this time,
you look terrible.
I feel really nauseous.
What'd you do?
I ate tacos for lunch. I don't. Okay. I would have Roger Waters last night too.
No, thank you. That's what I was looking for.
It was good. It wasn't as good as expected, and
interesting.
Extremely political.
Roger Waters? Is he the Who guy?
Pink Floyd.
Okay.
It was like intensely like.
Didn't see that coming.
They didn't see that coming. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So there's that. Anywho, that's the show. Preseason preview week 2. We're just 2 weeks away from regular season football.
Unbelievable.
I'm starting to get excited for it.
And Dave Richard will quit tweeting out how many weeks left until football. You get the break from that.
No kidding. Hey, stop tweeting that. I don't need 57 weeks until football, buddy. I know what time of year it is. For Wilson, I'm Brinson. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you guys later.
Flippy flop.